See, we're starting to get a better consistency there. It'll just be another probably a minute or maybe 90 seconds, and we'll be able to add the heavy whipping cream to this. Okay, so now you can see that we've got a nice consistency there. So now I'm going to turn off the heat and I'm going to add the cream. I'm going to mix it in, stir it up, and then from there I'm going to put it straight into the refrigerator and let it sit for usually an hour and a half, between an hour and 2 hours. You want to stir it till it hits that, till it gets that nice chocolate consistency all the way through it. Don't put it in the fridge while it's still got the standing cream on it at all. You want to just keep mixing that in until it all mixes into the chocolate really well. And now at this point right here is when I'm going to take my mushroom powder and I'm going to dump into this mix. Right when I got it, see where you can't really see the cream in there, you can still see the chocolate. I still want this to be hot enough for that mix to go in there, and I want it to absorb all the way around. And that's perfect. You can't see any of the powder floating on top. You want to make sure it's all mixed in there really well. Be very thorough about this part because you end up with clumps in there, and that means you're going to have a big clump of powder that's going to stick into one of your pieces of chocolate. You want it to be really finely, really consistent throughout the whole batch. Okay, and that's all there is to making this. So now we're going to put this, I'm going to take this off the stove. I'm going to take the glass pot, excuse me, the glass bowl out of the pot, and I'll put this in the refrigerator. And then I'm going to let it set until it's cool enough for me to handle and be able to form into, I make mine into little balls. You could do whatever you want. You want to make them flat, but we'll separate them into 1 ounce pieces, or 1 ounce and 2 grams. And then we'll make these, I make them into little balls and then serve them up to eat. Okay, time has been about an hour and a half in the fridge. You can see we got a nice kind of hard consistency there to our chocolate. I like to wear rubber gloves because it's kind of messy. You don't have to if you don't mind getting chocolate on your hands. So now we're going to turn on our scale. And we're looking for 1 ounce, 1.1 ounces, whatever, the 2 grams, basically about 1 ounce of chocolate per. There's 1.1, that's good enough. Try to shape it into a ball if you can. Now this is actually, we're gonna have to come back and do this again or start this again because this is not quite hard enough. You see in the center, still really soft. That's too gooey to be able to mess with. So we're gonna put it back in the fridge. We'll come back in another half hour or so. So about 2 hours elapsed time is about what you're looking for on this. All right, I'm back again. Let's try this one more time. So now that our chocolate is nice and cold, it should be pretty pliable, and we're looking for 1 ounce per chocolate, or thereabouts. That's 0.9, that's close enough. Okay, so now we have our chocolate that is cold enough to handle. We're gonna wanna put, once we make our little chocolate balls, we're gonna wanna put some kind of, put this on top of something like sugar. I'm gonna use cacao, because I like chocolate. But you wanna put something over top of the ganache once you've got them all rolled into balls. That way they don't, like when they start to melt just a little bit and you're eating it, you don't end up with chocolate all over your hands. This will kind of coat it and protect it a little bit. This is definitely an optional thing. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. If you just want the chocolate, feel free. So now we're looking for about an ounce of chocolate on each one. There's an ounce. I'm gonna take this and kind of form it into a ball. These don't have to be perfect unless you want them to be. If you guys want them to look pretty, make them look pretty. These are, you know, I'm doing these for myself, so I'm not super concerned about them being perfect. Okay, and now that we've got all the balls formed, and you can see that actually, it looks like it came out with 9.5 of these. This is a half, and then the other one's over there. It was because I added the heavy whipping cream to it and did not account for the heavy whipping cream. So I should have put in a couple extra grams of mushroom powder to make sure everybody got what they were supposed to. So now we're gonna have to go through and divide by the number of chocolate balls here that we have to figure out exactly how much powder we have in each one of these balls. Not the end of the world, and it's not gonna make a huge difference. They'll still be pretty potent, and I'm sure they will get you where you're going. And if they don't, just eat more. Happy tripping, folks.